Welcome to the Miniatures Paintbrush. Today we're going to do a showcase on Wolf Lord Krom. Okay, so here's another video for you guys. And here I'm trying to showcase, actually I did a new outro towards the end of this, but I'm showcasing the models that I did while my computer had died. There was no more computer, so I couldn't really film tutorials or do anything for a good amount of time. And I'm saying a good amount of time because I took the time and I'm patient enough to save up for what I wanted. And what I wanted was a really, really nice computer that I'd be able to handle all the audio and video needs for you guys. But learning is just a really huge process and undertaking. So I figured, why not showcase all the models that I've painted while my computer was getting built, while saving up for certain components and everything else, including this Tascam inline recorder that I'm using right now. I'm testing out some new equipment right now, so I'm really excited. So I'm doing these videos, and at the same time I'm showcasing what I did, but I'm also playing around with all the new toys that I picked up for the channel upgrade, right? Well, enough about that, right? Let's get into the meat and potatoes of this video, which is showcasing Wolf Lord Krom. Enjoy. Okay, let's get into it. So it's Krom Dragon Gaze, also known as the Fierce Eye, also known as Wolf Lord Krom. This man has so many titles, and that's because he is legendary. Let me tell you a little bit about him in just a bit. So the painting process for Wolf Lord Krom actually came out to be very, very easy. I did something new on this model. I started blacklining everything I possibly could on this model, and I really wanted to test myself because part of painting these miniatures is actually having that contrast, and you really want that contrast to really show through. And in order to bring up that contrast, in order to really make it to that next level of contrast, well, your highest highlights has to be up to almost just about white, if not white itself, and the lowest shadows have to be black, if not black or very, very dark. And when you outline something, you actually make, all the raised pieces actually pop. And it really does a great job at doing that. And it does take a lot of time. I mean, just as much time as it takes to edge highlight, you have to devote that time into blacklining as well. And I had a really great time blacklining. I did the knife belt, actually, the knife on his belt, and I started off with just drawing one line in each one, in each kind of tooth, because I know it's like black teeth going through or yellow teeth going through. I love that tribal pattern. And I did that just by simply drawing one line and just extending it, making it a little larger each side, on to the right and to the left of it, making those triangles. And a lot of people had problems with the tribal symbols, but it's really not that bad. Now, on the shoulder pad, I actually drew Krom on his, I wrote his name. And it has that wolf and staring into the sun. There's a story about that, but we're going to get into the lore just a bit. So he has this really double-bladed axe. I wanted to do that non-metallic ice frost metal. I really wanted to get into getting into a lot of the detail, and there's plenty of detail on this model. I mean, really plenty of detail. I really poured a lot of time into making that orange hair too. Many shades of yellow and brown went into that, just to really have a variation to make it hair. In order to make it hair, like real hair, some of it is dirty, some of it's clean, some of it's lighter, some of it's darker. So you really have to get into the variation of the hair. The pelt itself is the same method that I use for all my pelts for the Highland wolves. And it's just, doing the bark or brown up to the bone white and just sectioning pieces off. Now with this model in particular, there was quite a bit of silly putty used to mask off the cape and everything else in order to do that. And yeah, I airbrushed most of it. And when I couldn't airbrush, I used a paintbrush for and just blended it like that. But you know, with my philosophy is that you airbrush as much as you can, and then the rest you hit it with the brush just to clean it up, you know. And there's also another technique where you do the airbrush at the end just to smooth out those transitions right there, which is interesting. I have to try that method. Now on the front of Dragon Gaze himself, he's supposed to have a tassel. Unfortunately, I entered this one in the ever-chosen competition, and the person that put it in the case kind of snapped off the tassel with it, and it's waiting for me on top of a refrigerator inside the store, and I've never picked it up. Oops. I keep forgetting, honestly. It was a really fun model. I used a lot of gloss varnish when it came to all the jewels to really make it like sparkle. It was a lot of fun. This kind of came together in like under a week. It was great because, you know, I was off on summer vacation, so I had time to finish it. So I had, you know, time to devote to it. So it just took under a week to do, I would say 3-4 days really of dedicated painting in order to get it done to the quality that I'm happy with. And man, am I happy with this quality. So let's talk about the man, the myth, the legend just a little bit. So, you know, valor in battle is what he prides himself on. In fact, everyone in his company needs to, you know, do some deed and, you know, prove their valor in battle. But he's very prideful. In fact, prideful to the point of vainglory. Dragon Gaze is brutal to the point of barbarism, notoriously violent with very short temper. Failure is not accepted under his command. Unless you seek a thrashing, because he will slap you. He has no question about hitting his underlings, I suppose. Do not question his tactics. If you do, then you're in for, quite the beating. He does not like to be questioned at all. Because he's just straight up bloodthirsty, like in some of his tactics are questionable. But despite all this, he's the dynamic commander. Like, no matter the dire situation, he has led the great company to triumph. He has loyalty without guile. He is brutally efficient and battle eager. His weakness, though, is to allow his overly belligerent and competitive nature to take over. Once, Lucas the Trickster bet Krom that he could not outstare the sun, so the ordeal actually left him blind in one eye and squinting in the other one. Maybe that's why he got the name Fierce Eye, right? But the sun set, right? So he called it a draw since he went blind in one eye and the sun set. So, it's even. Everything is even Steven on that one, right? So Krom's brandishes Worm Claw, and that's the name of that double-edged frost axe. And he's just his presence alone commands respects. On the table, at least in 8th edition, his abilities include re-rolling hits of 1. If your unit is within 6 inches, enemy units within 3 inches reduce their leadership by 1 because he's that intimidating. His Belt of Russ, and yes, he has the Belt of Russ. It gains him a 4-up invulnerable save. His Worm Claw, the 2-bladed axe, is strength a +2, armor penetration -1, and his damage is +3, so he's actually formidable on the field as well. I mean, it makes for a very, very interesting an interesting character, a great time painting him, and here he is in all of his glory. I really do hope you enjoyed this video and enjoyed the model as much as I enjoyed painting him.
That Wolf Lord Krom, and he's easily manipulated, but man, is he a beast on the table. You have that invulnerable save going on. I mean, really, I can't wait to get him into some battle reports. I really enjoy doing these videos, and I hope you like them too. Don't worry, tutorials are on their way. I just need to figure out how to manipulate the camera and all these new toys that I got here for the channel before I commit myself in doing a painting tutorial where I have to, really focus in on the quality. I'm always trying to up my game for the channel. Well, if you like this video,
Like, share, comment, and subscribe, and we'll catch you next time on Miniatures Paintbrush.